So today what we're gonna try to do is fix the button on the Honda Odyssey. So what we have here, the Honda Odyssey, and what happens is the tailgate, the button just doesn't work sometimes. There's nothing wrong with the tailgate. So there's a lot of videos online about how to fix the tailgate when it doesn't work, and there's this electrical problem. That is not what we're fixing today. Literally, the only problem is the button that's up there. All right, so here's what we have. We have the camera and the button, and the car's unlocked, and you can see, like, just press, long press, it just doesn't work. But again, it's not an electrical problem, it's just the button. So let's get into it. So if you try to buy a new button and camera online, it's like $350. And you can also buy this, which is just the button. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna attempt to unscrew the button and basically screw it into our existing camera. So we're gonna be removing the entire camera and then the camera assembly, replacing the button, and then reinstalling the camera assembly. That's our. All right, so the first step is you open the tailgate right above me, and you can see you got your trusty flathead here. You just need to remove this panel to get started. Once you remove this, there you go. You can see everything you need. So this is the connection. That's the connection for the button right there. And if we pull this out and we put, you can see that is absolutely perfect. So, and you can see the screw, all that stuff lines up. But this is not gonna fit. So we're gonna have to kind of disassemble this and reassemble it onto the camera assembly. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is take off this chrome right here, because it's gonna kind of keep the camera from falling out completely. There are 3 screws, but roughly one here, and one here, and the whole thing should come off. That is a 8mm socket, and so the screw looks like that one right there. Let's see if I can get a good angle of that right there. So there's 3 of them. If you can get your hands up in there, you don't have to remove all this extra stuff. There's a lot of videos online that talk about taking all of this plastic stuff off. I don't think you have to do that. Okay, so we removed the one screw here, but there's another one over here. If you do that, it gives you enough leverage that you can actually create enough leverage here, not leverage, enough space that you can get the camera out. Now I did go ahead and remove the license plate because it was gonna get in the way. So we're about to remove the camera assembly and get it fixed. All right, so now we've removed the two 10mm, and now we've also disconnected this. This is the power, and now this one over here is the camera, which gets disconnected way over there. But for what we're doing, we don't really care. So we're gonna gently push that, all right? Come back out here and close it. So remember, we removed the screw from here and here. We did not remove this one. And now what we're gonna do, try to do this with one hand. Maybe I'll just do it like this. Pull it. There it goes. There she goes. Look at that. And so now, get a little better view. A little jiggle work there. We can access this. Okay, maybe we don't need to get the whole thing out. Maybe the whole thing does come out. But you know what? We don't necessarily care about the whole thing. So, let's spend some time with this for a second. All right, so what we're gonna do is just remove the button. It's just got 2 Phillips head screws on it. Don't lose those. The other thing is, when you're removing the screws inside the body of the car, make sure you have your hands on them, because if they fall into the plastic cavity, and that's not gonna be fun. All right, so as you can see, I have removed the button. All right, so let's use our trusty van keys to open the door again. And set these aside. And now we have, okay, so we did disconnect that. Let's do this. All right, so I actually don't want to open it, but after I did that, this pretty much came undone. So give you a little bit better angle. Okay, again, so here's the button. We've gotten that off, and you can see like it's all just kind of hanging there. We're gonna see if we can swap this part out without having to remove the camera, because nobody really wants to do that. Nobody really ever wants to do more than they have to. All right, so this is the part I ordered. Oh, by the way, it was $15 off of AliExpress. So yeah, it takes 2 weeks to show up. I found it on eBay for $15, only to find out that that person was also just shipping it from Ali. So save yourself some time, buy stuff off of Ali. So there is one small problem with this piece. When they manufactured it, the wires actually go through this plastic piece here. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge if we want to maintain this entire thing. So looks like if I have a flathead, which I do, looks like, I'll put that, like there's a little black tab like that kind of comes from the body. Looks like maybe we can pry this off of here. Yep, just get it on the sides. So like right here, and it comes off. Okay, so this actually, so there's the piece, and it looks like you could maybe disassemble this, but the question becomes, if you disassemble it, will it still work? So do we really want to try that? Probably not, no. All right, so we're gonna cut this plastic so we can just get these wires out of here. Okay, so you can use the same flathead trick that we used on the other part to just pry this out of here like that. It does take a little bit. Now you want to be careful that you don't scratch your wife's Odyssey, because it's not yours, is it? Is this your vehicle or is it hers? Okay, so this is the part where the solution deviates from the just replace the part and be done with it. So due to the differences where this has a rubber gasket, the other piece was plastic and the wires actually went through, and there was no way to get the connector through either solution. What I did was cut the old connector off closest to the button and cut the connector off closest on the new switch closest to the end. So that gives me the most amount of wire. And what we're going to do is we're going to splice these together. I'm going to show you a cool way to do that in just a second. But this button only goes back one way. You'll notice there's a notch on this side where the wires are. And if you don't, I had it the other way for a second, it won't go down all the way. And see, when you can see when it's like that, it's nice and super flush the way it's supposed to be. So we're going to screw that back in now. All right, so you can buy these little plastic things. They have a little piece of metal in them, solder. So I've just spliced both wires and put them together. I'm going to heat them up, and then after I heat these up, I've already put these on here. They're heat shrink, and then we're going to make it nice and tidy. So I'm going to use the hot air gun to do that. All right, so that's the button installed. We cut the end off and cut the button off of the old connector. I did try to remove this. You can remove this little plastic thing here, and maybe you'll have more luck than me, but I didn't want to damage the one that I knew I could plug in. So anyway, I messed with the one on here and kind of ended up messing it up. So anyway, heat shrunk these with the little solder connectors in there, melted all that, and reattached the button. So now we're pretty much ready to tuck this back in there and reinstall everything. Don't forget to slide the plastic thing back on the little black nubby thing before you push it in there. All right, so then we just, because we only did this side, we got a little extra space on that side. We'll pick this up, which is a whole lot harder to do with one hand. So you'll have both of your hands, right? Because you're not going to be watching this video every step of the way, are you? I need another hanger. All right, so that's what it kind of looks like. Honestly, it was easier to push the wires through with the white connector and then put it back on once it was in here. And I did not, for the record, I didn't actually pay attention to which side of the wire was which. If you want to maybe use a permanent marker and mark that, that's not a bad idea. But given that the way the switch probably works, it's probably just an open and close, so it doesn't really probably matter. So there it is, and I'm gonna show you. So that's what it looks like finished. There you are, it's fixed.